hold on a minute.
Hi.
Hi, Michael, we're live. I'm playing word cookies. I forgot. Let me shut this off here. Just thought I'd tell everybody so you don't embarrass yourself. You know, I usually come out singing show tunes and stuff. Anyway, we're gonna do some word cookie time, and I feel really, I don't know what's the word for it. Okay, the first time I made the spritz cookie dough this year with everybody on, and then I couldn't figure out why they tasted salty because I always use salted butter in them. I mean, I've been making this recipe for I don't even know how many years, and I freaked out because it was a double recipe. So it was 14 and a half dozen cookies that I was like, they like them, okay, because they're probably like Bucky. They like a little salt, like they don't mind salt, but I'm very sensitive to it. So I was freaking out. First, I freaked out that, oh my gosh, do I have COVID? Because that was one of the first symptoms I had when I had it the first time, was that burger I had tasted like somebody put a freaking salt shaker in it. But then I'm like, okay, well, they say they taste a little bit of salt, so I'm probably okay. Then, hi Shay. Then when I got past that, I was like really freaking out because if you have a tried and true recipe and you make it the same way. So here's the other thing that happened. And remember Sharon said, oh, I guess these cookies don't spread at all. Well, they don't. But then these started to spread. So I'm like, okay. I use the self-rising flour. Now, I've had self-rising flour before. I use it basically in bread. I don't know what possessed me. I don't think I've ever used it in the cookies. Sometimes I put it in the flour canister and maybe don't notice, but maybe it just never happened. So then I went on a mission, right? So I made another 3.5 dozen spritz cookies, and I used totally unsalted butter. And when I tasted the dough, the salt was missing. Now, this is funny because, and probably you're like, what the hell is she obsessing about? But this is me. This is the true me. People think I obsess about things that I'm not obsessing about on Zoom. I'm obsessing about the cookies. Okay, so then I'm like, wait, because my aunt, she made the best, she used to make butter balls, and she made these like jelly thumbprint ones that are rolled in nuts. And then her recipes, and I have them, say use unsalted butter. Do not use salted butter. If you use salted butter, you will ruin your entire recipe. And I used to do that, but then I think one year I used the butter and they tasted great, and I don't add extra salt. So I was saying that very confidently when I was making the spritz dough, but spritz does call for salted butter. So, because you don't add salt with the spritz. Anyway, so the second time I made them, I used totally unsalted butter, and then I'm like, wow, these need salt. For me to say these need salt, so I still in the dough stage, I put a little salt in there, okay, and they tasted good. But they still didn't taste exactly like my spritz. They were gone. Then last night I said to Jimmy, I'm still thinking, I'm not using the self-rising flour. I've taken that out. So I used half and half. It calls for 3 sticks of butter. I used 1.5 unsalted and 1.5 salted. And then when I tasted, hi Abadabadoo, when I tasted that batch, I'm like, these still need salt. And that's something for me to say. So I put a little bit of salt in that. They came out very good. But then I'm really racking my brain because I'm thinking like, okay, if I make another 3.5 dozen, I was saying like, maybe I'll only use a 1/4 stick of the unsalted. And I said, wait a minute, something's wrong. Something's wrong, and I have to figure it out because I've always used salted butter. So I went to the internet again, and I was looking around, and it said the leavening ingredients, like the baking sodas, the baking powders, can add a salty flavor if you don't put the exact amount. But I know that I put the exact amount of baking powder, and it doesn't call for baking soda. So then I started to think, and I started to look at other spritz recipes. And they all said salted butter. And they all said the amount of salt in salted butter is pretty mild. It's not going to make something crazy. Is it? Where are you, Abadabadoo? Are you in New York? Why do I think you're in New York? So anyway, I hope it is like that. I'd like to take a walk, but it looks like it's raining. And I know my cookie, this is my cookie woes. This is my cookie moment. Because I think I figured it out, guys. I'm really impressed. So then, when they said leavening ingredients, I started to think about the self-rising flour. And when I looked at the self-rising flour, it said that can have the baking soda and baking powder, and it could make your cookies taste salty. So if I use self-rising flour, you're not supposed to put the baking powder apparently, or salt. Well, there was no added salt, but it was baking powder. So eureka, I feel like this is like the Clark Griswold when they find out that the plug wasn't plugged in. I think what it was this self-rising flour, not the salted butter. So I want to say, do not use the self-rising flour. I will never use self-rising flour in a cookie recipe again. I probably won't even buy it again. I thought, like, I think that's good in a cake, or I don't even know. I don't even know what possessed me to do that. But I am going to use, I'm going to make, I told you I was going to do the gingerbread, but I have to prove this. This is the scientist in me. So I'm going to make another 3.5 dozen cookies, because we need them anyway. But I'm going to use all salted butter this time, no self-rising flour. And I think, by George, I think we're going to have it back to where we were, which means I'm going to have like 3.5 sticks of unsalted butter, which I guess I could make one of my aunt's recipes that absolutely call for unsalted butter, even though I use salted. And I did find out that back in the day, this may be my aunt said that salted butter used to be salted a lot more than it is today. It's salted very lightly today. Anyway, they actually said that using salted butter would not contribute to a recipe tasting salty if you use that a lot, unless you're like shoveling in like teaspoons of salt. But I really do think that self-rising flour was the culprit, and then adding the baking powder on top of that. So now that I've worked that out in my own brain, let's do some word cookies. Maybe that's why I like puzzles. I don't know. Yeah, aren't you glad? But I do want to make the gingerbread too today, and I also have to get my butt in gear. Remember those shelves I told you downstairs? I've got to do that and get this organized in order to get stuff done. Okay, let's do the word cookies. So Gypsy, we're going to take a look at the headlines and stuff to see if there's any news about. I know, Shay, right? Because that's good. I was driving myself crazy with that. You have no idea. You probably do, right? Shoot. Let's see here. What? Okay, now I'm gonna look at the chat. Let me see. Edge? Didn't? Oh, I didn't do edge. Okay. And how about edged? Yeah. And then you guys got deep. Okay, and lead. I thought I did lead. I didn't. Oh, I thought I did. Geld. What about, no. Pled. I tried pled, didn't I? Let's see. Peel. Uh-oh, get over there. And pedal. Yeah. Pedal. Pedal. Why did that just ring a bell? Pedal. Somebody's name. Pedal. Oh gosh, what case is that? Pedal, but it's, that just like rang a bell in my head. Pedal. 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 Not like petal. P-H. Pedal. Some case we had. I don't know. I don't know why that's ringing a bell. I have no idea. I'm trying to think, really. It'll come to me later. Stop thinking about it. Okay, gel. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay. Play a couple of games and then we'll look at what's going on. I did mean. Let's see. I haven't looked at your stuff yet. I'm going to look in a second. Name. Let me see. You know what? I'm not even looking at the top. I'm not even looking at the right thing here. Crazy. You know, I don't even think I didn't even post this live out. I didn't even share it on the, isn't that crazy? Hold on a minute. I just really losing it. You know what I did? I went to go to Facebook and I went to go put it there, and then I got wrapped up in somebody's post. I still had the thing in the copy and paste. It's ridiculous. Let me just put it over here on YouTube. So let me just do this. Crazy.
What defines a brand? Some might say it's the product that they provide.
Don't worry, that's just the ad playing before my video. Okay, let me put this here. There we go. Okay, that's better now. At least I'll find it later. Okay, so let me go back to where we are, live. Okay, Jeannie, you say G-E-N-I? No. Maine, M-A-N-E. Did I do? Yeah. Okay. Minnie, yeah, that would be one, I think. Oh, that's an extra word. Let's see if we don't have an extra. Age, man, mag. I tried mag. Minnie, gam. Nope. Mange, could be mange. Let's try mange. Extra word. Shay, good one though. Magi. Oh, extra word. Gamine. Extra word. We're getting a lot of extra words. Let's see. Aid. No, there's no D. Okay. Let's see here. Let me switch them around. Mine. How about, did we do mine? Nope. What about, let's see. A mat, no way. Can we do imagine? What did I do? Imagine. Right, and what about, I was going to say, no. ING, what can we make with these? Aiming? Okay. Meing, no. Mying, no. Maying, no. And, oh, nag. How about, let me see what you guys are saying. Oh, gem. Yeah, gem is one. Uh-oh. Sometimes the letters don't connect. Gem is good. Amen. Amen. Yeah. And then let's see. We watched that the Mother, what was it? Mother Dead and Dearest. That gypsy, Rose Blanchard. I did aiming and it went to extra words though. Yep. Gemini. Gemini, that's a good one if it's there. Oh. Yeah, I tried gaming. It went to extra words. No, gaming, we couldn't do gaming, right? Because there's not two G's. But gaming, if that was a word, that went to extra words. I'm crazy. Enigma, that's what that Michael Barnett said that Natalia Grace was. Wait a minute, did I do that right? What did I do there? I accidentally added another letter? Okay, there we go. Enigma. That's all right. It's not bad. It's all good. I'll try another one before we go, and then we'll go see what's going on in the world. Uh-oh. Hate when that gets all tangled up. Okay. Oh my gosh, I want the S. Okay, so yeah. Okay, what else you got? Shop. Did I put shop up there? Nope. Okay. Oh, you got worship right away. Hip. And hips. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Let's see. It's got to be a W. W I W O. Oh, Wisp. Wisp. Maybe one more. We'll see how. Hot. Okay. Method. Hi, Allie. Annie. Allie. That's great. Okay. You're gonna leave us, Abadabba? Abadabadoo? Okay. We'll finish this one and we'll go to the, see what's going on in the world. dot. Oh, moth. Yeah. Mod. Mode. Okay. Oh, Larry and Curly? No. I tried Ted. Ted. Uncle Ted. That's from Mommy Dearest. Dome, I already, right there. Let's see. May. All right, so we just need this one right here. It's got to begin with an M or a T or an O. Ode. Good. Level 10. Level 10, mother. Level 10. Claim our little things. Oh, we have a special level. Let's just do that. L's here. Or live L. Okay. So let's see.
Hi.
What was the extra level? B, right? I mean because I'll give you a hint, every word is going to have B in it. Let's see, bot. Did I do bode? I did. Mob. I haven't had an extra level in a long time. Both. Bed. Bed. Let's see. Hotbed. Hot bed. Hey. Good job. Debt. Okay. T-O. How could they have the B in there? T-O. Because it's got to be T-O right between those two T words. And it's got to be... I can't end in a B. That's a weird one. MB. There we go. Okay. Oh, you guys got it too. got to have a B in it. We did it. We did it. Okay, now we'll look at, let's see what's going on in this world. Let's see what's going on. Let's go take a look. I've still got to have a cup of coffee.
Okay.
The demolition has begun on the house, it says.
You're kidding.
That's what it says.
Okay, so I'm calling about a package.
Wait, Elle, you're not on mute. Can somebody mute Elle?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Can somebody mute Elle? Anybody?
I did.
You. Thank you, Marco. I couldn't find the good things as I have everything in front of the Zoom. Okay. So I don't think she knows. I thought she knew we were live. All right, so let's see. So it says demolition started this morning around 7 a.m. And they're on Central or Mountain. The former owner of the home donated the home to the school after the murders. So the university president, Scott Green, said, while we do appreciate the emotional connection some family members of the victims may have to this house, it is time for its removal and to allow the collective healing of our community to continue. Let's see. Contractors project demolition of the house will require a few hours. Wow, only a few hours, huh? With additional time needed for debris clearance. So they didn't take anything off that house that could be used elsewhere, huh? Like for Habitat for Humanity or anything like that, like the doors or anything. It's interesting. So some of the victims' family members have opposed the demolition, worried that the jurors would not be able to visit the crime scene during Brian Koberger's upcoming capital murder trial. Let's see. Let's see if there's any photos. Let's see. Oh, wait, they might have taken out the windows and doors. It looks like they did. Because prior, it looks like that's what was going on. Surprised somebody didn't remove that deck. And then this is what the scene looked like. I'm surprised somebody didn't remove that siding as well. So it's I think that they would have they would take more time than a couple of hours to get all the debris down, but it looks like all the demo is done in that. Just getting all the debris gone. It looks like, let me see here. Let's see what this is over here. So again, by 7 a.m. their time, which is a couple of hours ago, maybe. And again, there were parents of the victims that were opposed to it, but ultimately the house was given to the university, and maybe they didn't remove the windows. It looks like they just put plywood over them. It looked like they had removed them, but and it's interesting that there's no snow up there either, so that's interesting. They're having a milder winter, I guess. Let me see if there's any. Okay, so that's what's going on there, and let's see what else is going on in the news here. Regarding Savannah, oh, I keep calling her Savannah Soto, there was no gun found in the car where they were murdered. So that is looking more like police said a murder of both of them. Because you would expect a weapon to be there if there's something like that. Let's see. So her boyfriend's father and stepmother, Gabrielle and Raquel Guerra, said they had difficulty filing a missing persons report on their son. First, they said they were routed to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, while Soto's family, who live in San Antonio, were sent to the San Antonio Police Department. Ultimately, the Guerras were able to file a police report in the Leon Valley, where their son and Savannah lived. And let's see. Gabriel, the father, said, I was told that they were trying to get the three agencies all the information they had to combine them into one report. Guerra said that he asked Leon Valley Police about getting a court order to use his son's cell phone location date, but a detective told him it wasn't urgent enough. The detective basically, and I quote, the detective basically said they're adults, and if they want to disappear, they can disappear. And again, I reminded them the baby is overdue and has been overdue. They missed the due date, and to me, that's a life-threatening. I mean, there should have been more urgency. They were inseparable. Was it a perfect relationship? No, but she definitely was not a prisoner there, said Gabriel Guerra. Now, meanwhile, Savannah Soto's mother said she felt the murders had something to do with him and things he was doing, not her daughter. And I quote her saying, my daughter just was there with him, and they didn't want someone to say what happened. Somebody that's going to say it's so-and-so, and this is what he looked like. She was just there at the wrong time, end quote. And she also said that Guerra had been previously abusive to her daughter, and she had told her daughter to get out of that relationship, and I quote her saying she was hard-headed, she wouldn't listen. But I think this time she was going to leave him already. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, let me go and see what else is going on. So we talked about the demolition. Gypsy Rose, we know. I don't see any. I'll check to see if there is any sightings. Search intensifies for a missing Missouri mom of 4 who the boyfriend admits to hurting. What? Let's see what's going on here. He has confessed to killing her, not hurting her. They are searching for 29-year-old Markeisha Williams. She was reported missing on December 20th, along with her boyfriend, 31-year-old Trenton Ivy. On the 22nd of December, police found and arrested Ivy, charged him with Markeisha's murder, but no location remains. She has not been found. Let's see. Markeisha was last seen with Ivy in St. Louis. They were in a 2020 Jeep Compass. Location, Cook and Spring Avenue. She allegedly had dropped off her children at daycare and then never showed up to work. Ivy was arrested by police in Wisconsin, Racine, Wisconsin. On charges, they were resisting arrest, fleeing from an officer, and using a dangerous weapon. Biological material, blood, and some of Williams' belongings were found inside the Jeep. During an interview, Investigators say that Trenton Ivy admitted that he killed Markeisha after an argument, and he hid her body in an unknown location. On Wednesday, he was charged with murder. Let's see. Search volunteers and family members started at 9 a.m. this morning at the Mount Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. And they plan to meet there tomorrow as well and continue until 5 p.m. each day. And I quote her stepfather, Terrence Chavez, saying, "We don't have her yet. That's the most critical point. We don't have her back yet. When we get her back, we'll stop. Until then, we won't stop." So it doesn't say how old the 4 children are, but what another just ridiculous, senseless murder. Kids growing up without a mother because and let's see, a Mississippi woman found dead in a vehicle Christmas Eve. Let's see here. Trying to get the picture over here, but it doesn't want to listen to me. Okay. Go over there. There you go. Pay attention. Okay. Let's see. Taza Amethyst Hosey's father reported her missing on Saturday afternoon. She was found shot dead in a vehicle on Christmas Eve. Deputies say the 30-year-old was found just before 9 p.m. on Sunday. She had apparent gunshot wounds. The sheriff's office is asking anyone who may have seen Hosey on Saturday or Sunday to contact them at 601-847-2921 or anonymously call the Mississippi Crime Stoppers at 601-355-8477. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. See if we have anything else here. Let's see. Judge Shields' motion in University of Idaho. Oh, to have the case dismissed. Okay. So let's see if anybody has search for a missing cell phone. Florida man killed his brother on Christmas Day. Let's see here. Well, people are raging on, I don't know what the freak. Come on. What is up with this? Why can't I? Hold on. Let me close down these. Let me see what we've got. My mouse is not cooperating. Okay, now it is. Let's see. Let me close down some of these other. Okay. And now let's see if I can. There we go. This guy up here and see what's going on. It stemmed from the brother's unsuccessful search for his missing cell phone. Kendall Yarborough, 28, was visiting family in Illinois for the holidays. The DuPage County State Attorney Bob Berlin said that Yarborough's half-brother, James Watson, was frustrated while looking for his cell phone on the home's first floor. And I quote, family members stated that Watson was intoxicated and was upset that he could not find his cell phone. According to the court documents, his behavior had been described as increasingly obnoxious. Excuse me. Watson slammed a card table against the floor. After the table was slammed, the witness reported hearing a second noise, which was later determined to be a single gunshot. Yarborough allegedly shot Watson from the second floor of the house, striking him in the abdomen. I think he shot me, Watson said. According to the court documents, a relative reported seeing Yarborough holding the handgun after the shooting. Family members rendered aid and called 911. Watson was taken to the hospital and he was pronounced dead. The senseless act of violence will not go unpunished, Berlin said. To James's family and friends, I offer my sincere condolences and wish them strength as they mourn the loss of a family member and come to terms with another family member accused of this murder. Unbelievable. Okay. Mom of 5 murders. Baby daddy's girlfriend wounds him and leads cops. What? Florida again. Wow, what is this? Guess this is the mom of 5 there. A Florida woman has been charged with killing her ex-partner's new girlfriend and wounding her ex-partner during a custody exchange on Christmas Day in a drugstore parking lot. Think about those poor kids. Oh my gosh. Amanda Marie Jansen, 38. 38. I'm sorry, 38? Would you ever guess that woman is 38? What in the world? She led police on a 13-mile high-speed chase after shooting these two in Gainesville before she was caught near a Taco Bell in Alachua. Alachua? I don't know. The arrest report says that Amanda Marie Jansen and the male victim in the shooting have been together since September 11th. What do you mean since September 11th? And they have an 11-month-old child together. That doesn't even make any sense at all. That doesn't make a bit of sense. Anyway, after the baby was born, so she had a baby that was not even 4 months old, okay, with this guy. Got to put this together here. And after the baby was born, which probably they're going to say she has postpartum depression, and she could, she believed the man had been having an affair with the female victim for several years. Okay, so she's with this guy. Maybe they obviously were together before September 11th if they have an 11-month-old child together. Maybe they broke up, they get back together. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. She didn't have the baby on September 11th. They have an 11-month-old child. Oh, I'm sorry. My mind is really not here today. Let me go rewind that back. I'm looking at September 11th, 11-month-old child. So but still, they've been together before 3.5 months ago. If they have an 11-month-old child, right? So they have the 11-month-old child together. After that 11-month-old child was together, she believes. So this has been going on for about 11 months, and she acts on this on Christmas Day. After the baby was born, she believes that he is having an affair with the female victim. That still doesn't make sense, because then she's getting together with him in September, 7 months or so after she believes he's having an affair with someone else. She called the female victim's husband and told him her suspicions. Weeks later, the baby's father filed for custody of the baby. And on December 20th, something's wrong with that. I guarantee that's a typo. Weeks later, the baby's father filed for custody of the baby, and on December 20th, a Putnam County court ordered the two to share the custody. Jansen was to hand over the child on December 25th at a Walgreens in Gainesville. So this is the logic, okay? I don't want to hand over my 11-month-old to her father. I don't want to hand her over. You would just say, well, why don't you want to hand her over? Okay, I don't want her to be with that other woman, or whatever this woman's reasoning may be, right? Okay, get it. But then what do you plan to do? Oh, I plan to kill the other woman and then kill the baby's father. Okay. In a Walgreens parking lot? You know, they probably have surveillance cameras all around, number one. You're in a car. You already have a custody arrangement meetup, so that's probably in the court records that you're going to be, number one, the first suspect no matter what. Where's that going to leave your kids when you're arrested, which you will be? And Florida has the death penalty, so not smart on that accord either. So tell me what this is going to do. Like, this is what I mean. They just need, like, forget all this testing in the schools. Someone should just be like, okay, so let's say you got married and your spouse started cheating on you, and then you had a baby with him. You didn't want to give up the child to her visitation. What would be the proper way to deal with that? Would it be A, get yourself a counselor and start working through these issues? B, murder the child's father and his new girlfriend? See, yeah, I mean, seriously. And she's got 4 other children in the car, and she's leading police on a 13-mile chase. You think, you know, it's amazing that she didn't just take everyone out. I mean, it's just crazy. So now look at this. Here's another, like, just, it's ridiculous. Okay, so let's see what else she did. She drove to the Walgreens location with the baby and her other 4 children. Along the way, according to the arrest report, she stopped and gave her oldest son her debit card, her food stamp card, and instructions on paying his cell phone bill. Okay, so now this is great. Okay, all right, honey, here's my debit card. Here's the food stamps. And listen, you're going to have to pay for that cell phone. This is what you do. Then she drove to the drugstore. She arrived before the baby daddy and his girlfriend. When the baby daddy and girlfriend arrived, where the girlfriend was driving her vehicle and the baby daddy in the passenger seat, he got out of the car and she got out of hers. She was allegedly hiding the gun behind her back. Okay. She goes to the driver's side, so that's the girlfriend's side of the other vehicle, and she shoots the woman 3 times. Then she circles around the car and shot the man 3 times, shouting, "You made this happen." The incident was captured on the drugstore's security cameras, exactly what I told her. She gets back in her car and she takes off. A Gainesville police officer was nearby, heard the gunshots, saw the car flying out of the parking lot, and he starts chasing her along with other Gainesville officers, Alachua County deputies, and the Alachua police officers were chasing, reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour. Wow, those kids must have been freaking out in that car. She called 911 in the middle of this. Said she had just shot 2 people, identified the victims, and said police were chasing her. The dispatcher on the end of that call was pleading with her to pull over once they heard the children. She apparently threw the gun out near a Taco Bell, where the gun was found along with 2 magazines. She was ultimately pulled the car over by the Taco Bell, I guess, when maybe the person on the other end got her to pull over. She's charged with first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, 5 counts of child neglect. Bail set at $2 million. And that is a Christmas. Can you even imagine those poor kids? We really wonder why. What does that? I don't know. And they seem to just have. Oh, I don't know. 5 kids. Just wow. This is something like she thought out too, right? Because she gave him the car. I mean, come on. Ridiculous. What the heck is this woman's name? Amanda Marie Jansen. Where's the other baby daddies? Like, how'd she let them go? Let me see something here. An old Facebook for her. Wow. Apparently, I guess this is what single in 2010, but wow. Crazy. But Annie B, what about the other baby daddies? Like, what happened to her other kids? How many you know, she was apparently, what was this? This guy was the love of her life, and she was willing to sacrifice that all for that. It's crazy. Crazy. Let's see here now. Let's see if there's anything else that we want to go and check. That's a crazy story. I will follow that one. That is a crazy story. There's got to be a lot more to that story. A lot more. Let's see here. I still haven't found that other couple, I guess, that's missing. Oh, wait. Is this a new one? Okay, Indiana. An Indiana woman is accused of killing her husband. She was laughing and joking with the emergency personnel as he lay dying on the floor of their New Haven home last summer. Allison Davis, 33 years old, called 911 just after 4:30 a.m. She was telling them that she found her husband at the bottom of the stairs in a pool of blood. In a pool of blood. When the emergency responders came and arrived at the house, he was barely breathing and he died later on that afternoon at the hospital. The doctors who treated him said that investigators said that Davis, Kevin Ray Davis, 40 years old, had possibly been brain dead for several hours. What? The doctor stated that she has had drowning victims with more oxygen in their brain. What the heck? Allison's story is that her husband fell down the stairs, but doctors say his injuries are not consistent with a fall. His injuries were isolated to the head with multiple skull fractures and orbital fractures. The doctor said his core body temperature was so cold that he was hypothermic when he arrived at the hospital. I'm not making sense there, Allison. During an autopsy, it was determined that the right side of his skull had been crushed by a blunt object and he was brain dead on impact. Wow. The court documents note Allison Davis's behavior was odd and inappropriate. At one point, Allison was laughing with the EMTs. She didn't seem concerned about her husband's injuries. And the affidavit states, after telling multiple versions of what happened that night, she finally settled on telling the investigators that she and her husband had been out drinking. They came home around 1 a.m. They fought, and she decided to sleep downstairs while he went upstairs to bed. Sometime later, she reported hearing a thud and found her husband at the bottom of the stairs. Problem is, she told other people different variations of that story there. She told the EMTs on the scene that she never heard anything and that it had been a while since she saw her husband. Then she told her brother-in-law that she was in bed with the couple's dog and her husband was up walking around. She told him she heard a thud but had no idea what it could have been, so She checked and found Kevin at the bottom of the stairs. The affidavit also states that Kevin Davis's mother told the investigators that the couple had not been drinking that night. She said that Allison told her that she and her husband were upstairs sleeping when her husband got up to get some water. She told her mother-in-law that she heard a loud bang, and she went to investigate. The investigators on scene did not locate a weapon at the home. Doctors who examined Kevin Davis said that it appeared his injuries were caused some time before the 911 call, meaning that there was plenty of time to dispose of a possible weapon. The affidavit states, due to the nature of the injury and the defendant's inconsistent statements, your affiant believes and has evidence to support that the defendant knowingly and intentionally caused the death of Kevin Davis. Allison Davis faces 45 to 65 years in prison if convicted. I wonder why it took so long to charge her. See here. So here's something out of Illinois. 63-year-old man in Illinois was sentenced last week to 10 years in prison for the attempted murder of his estranged wife in 2019. Patrick O'Brien was captured on a neighbor's security camera. What was he captured doing? He was captured chasing his wife, or I guess his estranged wife, from their home on the neighbor's back patio on December 21st, 2019, and stabbing her in the chest. The neighbor opened the back door, threw O'Brien to the ground before he could stab her again. The camera filmed him stabbing himself before throwing the knife away, but he was found guilty of attempted murder and aggravated domestic battery in August. The surveillance system shows the brutal attack and the gruesome savagery of the attack by a controlling man who decided that if the marriage was over, then his wife should die. There is no question that the neighbor's miraculous intervention saved Mrs. O'Brien's life, and that is a quote from the Will County State's Attorney James Glasgow. And here's another one, I quote, "The case bears out the stark reality in domestic violence that the most dangerous time for a survivor is when they leave their partner. 75% of domestic violence homicides occur when the victim has left the relationship. Domestic violence is about control and power, and this harrowing, near-deadly assault was the attempt at exerting ultimate control. When this occurred, O'Brien and his wife had been separated. She came over to pick up some belongings. The victim was in the kitchen when he picked up a large knife and said something to the effect of, 'If we're done, then we're done,' as he came after her. She ran out of the back door to the neighbors as O'Brien chased her, calling out that, 'You're faster than I thought.'" End quote. He is seen on the camera surveillance pushing her into the wall, and then, as she raises her arms to try to defend herself, shoving the knife into her chest while yelling an expletive. Just at that moment, the neighbor opened the door and knocked O'Brien down. He's going to get 38 days credit for time served and must serve a maximum of 8.5 years before he can be considered for parole. Once he's released, he will serve mandatory 3 years of supervised release. Okay, great. Unbelievable. And there's another one I want to cover. Let me see, what was the, before we check out Gypsy there. So there was a Utah man arrested after he admitted to being high on drugs when he rolled over his utility terrain vehicle on Christmas Day, injuring his 2-year-old son who was riding with him. The boy was said to be bleeding from the head. He was life-flighted to Salt Lake City. I hope he's okay. No further information available on his condition. The other 2 passengers, an 8-year-old and 10-year-old sons of his girlfriend, suffered minor injuries. He had used methamphetamines and marijuana before he got on the UTV with his child, but said it had been an hour since he did those drugs. The affidavit says, and I quote, Jeffrey said that they were driving down the road and his driver door opened, causing him to slide off the road. He then tried to get back on and rolled the side-by-side. Jeffrey was driving, did not have a seatbelt on. The 2-year-old was in the front bench middle seat with a regular seatbelt on, according to the affidavit. The other 2 children were in the back, both wearing seatbelts. Hope the 2-year-old's okay. Okay, let me go. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to come on, probably do some baking later. We'll see you a little bit later on. Love you guys. God bless. Prayers. I'll see you later. I'm going to do that baking.